This YCN segment is brought to you by Mount Sunapee Resort. Fun for all seasons.
Welcome back. YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stout, Rob Taylor. One final segment. And before we get to our picks, talk some Thanksgiving traditions. Rob, you always have the Lions play early, Cowboys play mid-afternoon. What's the best tradition for you, and what do you enjoy watching?
I did a little research in preparation for this question, Jeremy, and I just looked up the 10-year records for those two teams.
Boy.
Lions are 63 and 97 in the last 10 years, where the Cowboys are 92 and 68. So clearly, just based on that, I think the more compelling game every Thanksgiving is the Cowboys game. My recollection is the Lions have always sort of been that sort of bottom-dwelling team from the NFL. It's a great tradition,
right?
But they really have not had a compelling product on the field. Just for quick reference, I looked up what the Pats' 10-year record was, and it was 126 and 34. So.
Right. Head and shoulders, and they played on Thanksgiving Day a few years ago. I don't remember when it was. A number of years ago, they played the Lions on Thanksgiving. And it's always like the Lions, they're at home, and everyone gets excited. This is the year they're going to break out. They're going to get the win, and then they go and lose the game by 2 touchdowns or something. So, and then you go watch the Cowboys game later, and obviously those two games, we'll be picking those games because they're pretty good matchups, 2 divisional matchups, so we'll make our picks for that. And another event this weekend, obviously a lot of college football, a lot of NFL. Friday, Black Friday, the big match, Tiger Woods, Phil Mickelson. It's going to happen. It does cost $20 if you want to buy it. I know people aren't necessarily excited about that, but if you do buy it or if you are following it, it should be a pretty good, at least fun to hear about the stories that they're going to be talking about.
Well, as evidenced by the fact that we're talking about it.
Exactly.
It's golf in November, which normally is not really anything anybody's talking about.
Exactly.
So I'm intrigued by it. I'm kind of casually following it. I've seen a few things on ESPN and some of the hype and some of the prep that they're doing, trying to make them kind of appear as rivals, even though they're like best friends.
Yes, exactly.
I think the most compelling thing is going to be the sort of side bets that they're going to be supposedly throwing at each other, whether it's their own personal money instead of the sponsorship money. It's a $9 million purse, so that'll be compelling just to watch them try to win that money. But I think it's something neat, and I think it's something that golf needs, some compelling reasons to watch.
Yeah, exactly. You have the Tour Championship, that kind of elongates the season. Obviously, this year the Ryder Cup, and then this kind of thing. And I wouldn't be surprised if they might do this as a tradition every year. Obviously not Tiger and Phil, but you might have the 2 young guys. You might have
Jordan Spieth
and Dustin
Rory.
Johnson or Rory or something. Yeah, because it is something exciting, and it's kind of golf's off season. So that'll be exciting to watch on Friday, plus all kinds of college football Friday and Saturday.
It's time for the Salt Hill Pub Picks of the Week. Salt Hill Pub, honest food, perfect pints, live music, now here to serve you in 5 locations.
All right, here we are with our Salt Hill Pub Picks of the Week. Before we get to the picks, the standings, I am in the lead 35-19-1. Our producer Alex is 32-22-1, and the guest 29-25-1. So gaining some ground. Yeah, you got some work to do, but you had a good week last time. You were 3-2. So keep it going here. First, as we talked about, Thursday, first game of the week, Bears at Lions, Thanksgiving game. Who you got?
I think a little bit more to play for, a little bit more reason to try to win. I'm going Bears on this one. Just a hunch.
Yeah, I mean, the Bears have played really well this year, and obviously that tough game in Detroit, big rivalry, big divisional game. I go with the Bears. I agree with you on that one. Another big game in the NFC East, Redskins and Cowboys. Either of these teams can win the division. Who you got on Thursday afternoon?
Skins had a terrible, terrible disaster losing Alex Smith with multiple breaks in his legs. So I'm a buyer on the Cowboys for that game. They're going to be Skins are going to be with a backup QB.
Right, and as you mentioned,
Colt McCoy, right?
Yes, right. And as you mentioned, Cowboys are always pretty good. They're the better team on Thanksgiving. I go with the Cowboys as well. And we go to an NFC battle that could be for a playoff spot. Both these teams not winning their division, so looking to get a wild card. Seahawks versus Panthers. Who you got?
Based on what I saw last week, Seahawks actually put together a pretty good win over the Packers.
That's true.
And so I'm going Seahawks on this one. I just think they got a little bit more in the tank. They seem to be putting it together.
And they have the extra rest because that game was on Thursday night that you talked about. I'm going to go with the Panthers. They're at home. They get the win, but I think that's going to be a great game in the NFC. The Packers, that we just mentioned, they play the Vikings. maybe another battle. Maybe the loser is out of the playoff contention because the Bears look like they're winning that division. One of these teams might get a wild card. That's Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, both these teams coming off really disappointing losses last week. I just think Aaron Rodgers puts it all together, and I think he's going to come back with a pretty decent game.
It's about time. He's struggled this season, so it might be time for him. I disagree. I go with the Vikings, but once again, we got a good slate of games here. These are going to be some close ones. Monday Night Football, Titans, Texans. Battle, that's some up-and-coming teams. We've seen the Titans, they played really well against the Patriots, and they played terrible last week. Texans, we don't know about them. Who you got here?
Well, the Texans are, believe it or not, actually going for their 8th win in a row. So I'm taking the Texans on this one. Just a hunch. I think they're putting it all together. They're on a roll.
They are a really good team. Obviously, Deshaun Watson leading them. They lost to the Patriots to start the season, but like you said, ever since then, they've played really well. So there are the picks. Also, you can always check out the website, ycnnow.com, for our picks. Rob, have a great Thanksgiving.
You too. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you very much for joining us. Have a great Thanksgiving, everyone. Thanks for watching YCN Sports Talk.